everyone, and welcome back. It's Gina from orchidandopal.com, and today I have 2 additional Beads of the Month clubs to share with you that arrived in my mailbox for March 2023. These are the single versions of the 2-hole Beads of the Month club and the Hot and Trendy club. So we'll be taking a look at high-quality check glass beads in all sorts of different shapes and styles. I highly recommend either of these, and I can confidently say that even before opening these particular ones up, because they are all so consistent with their quality and the curation of the different themes and palettes that it's always a great surprise to see what's arrived. And these 2 clubs I recommend if you are interested, especially in off-loom bead weaving projects, and if you like working with more adventurous styles of beads. Not just some single hole varieties in the Hot and Trendy club, but also some 3 and 4 hole varieties, for example. There's even more subscription options at Beads of the Month Club's website, so if you check out that link that's right down below the video, it'll take you right to it. You can find out more information not just about these 2 clubs, but also the other ones they have to offer. And you also have the option of rotating through all of their different clubs to get a different one each and every month. So look into that option as well, and their optional Findings Companion Pack, which I shared an example of in last week's video, and ships with your bead club at no additional cost to ship. Also, if you'd like to give them a try, you can use the coupon code OPAL10, OPAL10, I'll leave that down below too. That coupon code will save you 10% off the first month of your first club if you are a new subscriber. Let's get into our 2-hole Beads of the Month club first. This one's called Coronation Regalia, and inside we find 8 different varieties of 2-hole check glass beads, and occasionally we'll see some from the Miyuki Tila line, and we'll see different beads every time, not just the same 8 that you'll see today. There's so many different 2-hole varieties, so those will change around as well. Before we look at each of these, let's go ahead and take a sneak peek. Gorgeous 2-hole bead varieties here with shades of purple, plum, green, gold, among others, but definitely looks like a very royal palette. So we have lots to check out today. Let me just get organized. That way we can take a look at each of these 8 varieties up close, one at a time. In our first container, we have 7 grams of the California Green Cheops Parpuka beads. That's such a fun combination. These are really reflective with the metallic coating that they have that is showing up as this bright gold on one side, and then on the other side we have some really interesting color play that bounces around between purple, blue, and pink for the most part. Those colors picking up some of the other colors that we're going to see in our palette this time around, which is nice. And for this unique 2-hole shape, you can see they are in a triangular formation with the holes that run up and down from the flat base and out towards either side of the pointed top. In container number 2, we have 7 grams of the Pastel Lime Tinos Parpuka beads. And these are in a golden color with a greenish undertone. They're not as metallic and reflective as that first selection. They have a more satiny tone down, but still very saturated color coding. And these have a trapezoid shape, also with 2 holes running from the wider base and out through the more narrow but flat top portion. In container 3, we have 7.5 grams of the dark purple lined crystal bibo beads. So these little 2-hole beads sort of remind me of a peanut bead, except for the fact that instead of the 1 hole that goes through the center, they do have 2, and they're going parallel through either side where it's just slightly wider. They have a more compressed center area, which makes them a little bit different than like a brick shape or a rectangle. And I just love this combination with the crystal clear glass that shows off that vibrant, deep purple lining. In container 4, we have 5 pieces of the crystal amber pyramid hex beads. What's really interesting about these is at the base, or that flat bottom area, these are crystal clear. The rest of the bead has the reflective metallic golden or brassy coating, and these are sort of a stud-like shape and similar in style to a cabochon with the flatter bottom and then the area at the top, which is a bit taller and three-dimensional. In our fifth container, we have the green turquoise splash honeycomb beads with 30 pieces. This is a classic opaque turquoise color that has this additional finish, providing a bronze-like luster and that extra metallic splash over the top. These, of course, have the 6 sides, hence the name honeycomb, and you can see how the 2 holes run parallel through the side. I'm very intrigued by this next variety. It says green turquoise azzurro 2 times, and these are in the kite bead shape. This is a combination that is new to me, which is always fun to see, and these have that greenish color underneath that 2 times azzurro electric blue metallic coating. So that shows up on both sides of these beads as opposed to just one. This kite shape, of course, is pointed at either end, one being a little bit longer and more narrow than the other side. And I suspect you wouldn't really see much of that green that's underneath. You're mainly going to get a look of that really flashy but still deep metallic blue that shows up on the face of this shape and on the front and the back. And one of the 2-hole shapes we see pop up most often are the super duos. That's what we find in our next container, and this is holding 12.5 grams in the crystal merrier full variety. This is another fun assortment looking like metallic confetti. These little 2-hole beads with all their different colors. Some areas of the glass is left more transparent, and you also get the metallic finish, making other parts more opaque and reflective. And then certain areas where they're more see-through, they have a backlit quality, bringing out the color and metallic shine from the other side. And this mixture really does bring a lot of the colors together that we have in this coronation regalia theme. Lots of purple, gold, and some of that turquoise-ish green, among others. And our 8th container is holding the purple Vega chevron beads. There's 20 pieces of those inside. Here's another stunning purple variety. These also have a subtle golden luster, adding to the shine on top of the opaque purple color. And these have a hole that runs up and down through either side of the chevron shape. So I'm not surprised they've put together another stunning palette and selection of goodies, in my opinion, with a brilliant mix not only of unique 2-hole shapes, but a variety of colors and finishes that you can bring together and use in combination with each other or with other beads from your stash, of course. But there's a nice balance here between the reflective metallics and the more opaque, and also the beads with more transparency. So once again, this is the single size of the club, but you're also more than welcome to sign up for the double version of this club. And in that one, you'd get the same 8 varieties of beads, but you get twice the actual quantities. So that's just another variation of something you can sign up for, in addition to signing up to more than one if you'd like to. They have a lot of bead clubs that actually work really well together. And the other one I've been having a lot of fun with, in combination with the 2-hole beads club, is the one called Hot and Trendy. We'll get a sneak peek in just a second, but this one contains 8 different containers every single month as well, in another surprise assortment of shapes and color and finish options. This one being especially great for those into bead weaving, but also who are more adventurous and willing to work with a little bit of everything. Inside this club, you're going to find a lot of different check glass, and not just 1-hole varieties, but multi-hole shapes as well. So let's get a sneak peek of strawberry shortcake. Oh, that looks luscious. We've got some reds, pinks, and coppers or rose golds all together in this one. And once again, we'll take a look at each of these varieties close up one at a time. And we're going to kick it off with a new shape. These are the Barros par puca beads. So this is another shape in the puca line of beads, which is a line we see showing up in these hot and trendy clubs quite often. And it's a shape I'm not very familiar with, so let's take a look at it together outside of this container. So we have this light opal pink, and you can see that light golden splash that covers different areas of the entire surface of what is a one-hole shape and has some faceting. Sort of reminds me of the faceted fire polish rounds, but these being a little bit more of a barrel shape and a little bit less rounded overall, with that more flat top and bottom area where the hole is located. And then for number 2, we have 6 grams of the Cherry Capri Gold Konos Parpucas. There's something so cute about these. I guess it's their tiny little shape and size, and they remind me of a bicone bead that's been cut in half. That bright cherry red is really apparent where it's flat at the wider base, and that Capri Gold, which is that sort of a reddish, coppery, or more rose gold tone, shows up on the majority of the outside of the rest of the bead. These also, you can see, have one hole going up through the center. Container number 3 is holding 25 of the painted light red flower beads that are 7 millimeters in size. And overall, the base glass pretty much looks like it's opaque white, and you're getting some of that color showing up from that copper metallic splash that settles into all of those pressed details, not only on the front and the back, but also all around the sides where you can see those grooves pressed in with a lot of dimension, and the holes running up and down through the side. So when you string these on, you get a full view of that floral shape. Selection number 4 is a container with 50 pieces of the chalk terracotta red dagger beads. They have just a slightly reddish cast, but overall look mainly like a shade of lighter pink if you're looking at them from further away. But on close inspection, they have that marbleized appearance over top of the white opaque glass. This is also a smaller size of the dagger shape, not the standard 5x16 millimeter, but probably closer to somewhere in the range of like a 3x9 or something close to that. Also in the chalk terracotta red, we have the teardrop beads with 15 pieces included. So these have a little bit more of the surface area where you can see the marbleized appearance over top of the opaque white glass. And also you can see how they have this reflective golden cast that the light picks up and reflects off of the glossy surface. These teardrops have a hole that runs through the top at the side of the bead, allowing these to hang down and show off the flat portion of the drop, which make these a great candidate, I think, for necklaces especially. For selection number 6, we have 50 pieces of the lava red forget-me-nots. Here is yet another check glass flower, this time being a really small size with the more simplistic shape that's similar to a daisy spacer. It's a 5-petal design, and these have that hole that runs straight up through the face of the flower. And this variety is adding another pop of red in that rich, toned down metallic coating. Next up, we have 25 pieces of the Crystal Capri Gold Tulip Petal beads for selection number 7. These are so shiny and reflective, especially on that one side where that Capri Gold coating is located. And I do like how it's mixed though, with the other side being left crystal clear, with those sides having that extra glow. And these are another drop-like shape, which you could certainly use together to make a bead-woven floral component. They're also great for layering and for knotting projects, or you could simply use them as you would a drop bead in a jewelry project. For the lily petal shape, you can see they've got a little bit of a curve, and they come to just the slightest point at the tip. The hole is located there at the opposite end, with that side being a little bit flatter. And for our 8th and final selection, we have 30 pieces of the pastel light coral petal beads. Another stunner. These have the light blush pink with a sort of peach undertone and that pearlescent shine that appears to be the same on both sides of these flat petals, one side of the press detail being just a little bit different than the other side. And these petals also being a great candidate for layering and adding with other petal and drop-like shapes to make beaded flowers. Well, they definitely nailed the strawberry shortcake theme, and it also reminds me of strawberry ice cream, especially how you get the flecks of the deeper red mixed in with the lighter shades of pink. So I think this is really stunning and also a unique combination. And we definitely see some hot and trendy varieties in here, not to mention the interesting shapes, but the colors and finishes that have been incorporated at the same time. So this is just one example of many different color palettes that you could receive. And I also like to mention, if you are a current subscriber to one of these clubs, you may have gotten something different this month than what I've shown here, and that's because you might be on a slightly different rotation, and what they send also depends on their stock levels and what you've received previously. That said, every month is going to be something like this, but in a different color scheme. And just like the 2-hole beads club, you're going to get different varieties in your 8 containers every time too, so you're not always going to get these particular shapes. It really is a fun monthly surprise. And now bringing back both of these varieties together so you can see them all laid out and outside of their containers. The Hot and Trendy Club being the single size as well, still giving us plenty to work with, but again, they have that double size option if you'd like to get twice the quantity. So with all the different options that they have, definitely check out their website, which again, I have linked right down below the video. And if you decide to try them out, definitely use that coupon code OPAL10 to save 10% off the first month of your first club. Be sure to also check out their Findings Companion Pack, which you can add on to any existing beading subscription. And also don't forget to check on your monthly invoice, where they have printed at the bottom a special link which will bring you to 3 free downloadable beading patterns each and every month, which often incorporate some of these really unique shapes. So as usual, I'm very inspired by what they've sent. I look forward to using these beads in future projects and tutorials, and hope you'll join me for those videos as well. So a reminder to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, that way you'll be notified of new beading videos to come. Also be sure to give this one a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Also, I hope it was helpful for you to check out these 2 different clubs up close so you can see if they're right for you. If you have a favorite item that you saw here today, or if you want to share anything else down below, you can feel free to leave a comment and share the video with your other beading friends. That wraps it up for now. I want to thank you all so much for joining me, and I hope to see you all again real soon. Until next time, I also hope you have a fabulous rest of your day, and as always, happy beading.